Hi there, welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. And, I've been MIA lately. I've been swamped with quilts, which, you know what, I'm not complaining. It is my job and I love it. But super swamped with quilts and then last week, so for the past couple of weeks, I have been working in a salon in a retirement home, filling in for a girlfriend of mine that had to have a knee replacement, and so I'm going to be there for the next couple of months, 6 weeks or so, and so it's really limited my crafting time, which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time. I just want to make sure my chat's working here. Um, at the same time, it's good for me to get out of my basement. From my quilt room is here in the basement, and so is my craft room. So it's really good for me to get out and actually interact with live people because the only interaction I have with live people nowadays is my husband and my craft classes. Well, hello, Verna Mullen. How are you, my friend? Thank you for coming over. Um, Verna, if you're an American demonstrator or an American crafter and you need a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Verna is your girl. Right, Verna? And if you're Canadian and don't have a demonstrator, I'm your girl. Anyway, so that's what's kept me sort of MIA lately. So I do apologize. And then last weekend, this past weekend, I did a 2-day virtual seminar with Stampin' Up. It was not Stampin' Up sanctioned, but with Stampin' Up. And so some of the cards that I'm going to there's two cards that I'm going to show tonight were actually showcased in this workshop. And I'm telling you, I was a little bit iffy on the Sunset Coast, but to be honest with you, the more I play with it, the more I love it. And I should have grabbed some of the other cards that I've made with it. I will grab them in a sec. But it is a fabulous, fabulous little bundle. That's the stamp set. And that's the dies. Look at the dies, how cool they are. Oh, I just love them. Love them, love them. So, yeah, so if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm mid 700s right now, I think. I haven't checked for a while, but I think I'm kind of in the mid 700s. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do that. I would love it. And if you are a subscriber, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I need those too. They really help with my algorithm, I guess, with Stampin' Up! Or with YouTube. So I would love that. One quick thing before we get going is right now there is a starter kit offer with Stampin' Up! And if you join Stampin' Up! As part of a team, and preferably my team, the Critters'n Creativity, between now and May 31st, you can add all 5 of the new in-color ink pads to your order at no cost to you. So you typically will choose $165 worth of product and pay only $135 for it. And that gets shipped directly to you. But now for the month of May, you can actually add on these 5 ink pads, the new in colors, at no extra cost. Or if you're not interested in the ink, you can choose an extra $50 worth of product, which brings you to $215 of free product. Not free product, sorry, $215 worth of Stampin' Up! Product for $135. So that is a really good deal. But these are fabulous. So these are the new ink pad style compared to the old ink pad style. So this is, a difference in size. Now this one, if you have to flip it and slide it. Now, if you're arthritic, these can be a little pain in the tushy. I don't have a problem with them most of the time, but there are days, But the new ones, voila, watch this. Oh, where's my camera? Here. Ta-da! They're magnetized. Isn't that great? Ta-da! So, and these are linen. Linen, no, wrong one. Linen compared to the the style that we have now, which are foam. And I'm a little torn. I like the foam, but I really like these. So anyway, so you can get these free if you decide to join between now and the end of May. All right, so why don't I switch down to my desk? Pardon me, my allergies are in full bloom today. I was cleaning the deck furniture earlier, and everything is covered in yellow. Everything. Between cat hair and yellow pollen, I'm telling you. All right, so here are the two cards that we're going to make. So this is the first one. Isn't that nice? I love this. And this one we're going to do some watercoloring, so that's kind of fun. And then this one here, it has more of a sort of distressed boathouse look to me. Oh, I haven't done the inside yet. That's okay, we'll do that. So that'll be card number 2. So why don't we get started with card number 1. So card number 1 is this guy. And we're going to use watercolor paper. So when I was doing my prototypes on Monday, I just had some pads of watercolor paper that I've had forever and a day. And I grabbed them and cut them up. But you know what? I'll be honest with you. I was not happy with the results. Like if you look at it, you see how it's all, even with the watercolor on it, it's all sort of streaky and not pretty. And they all turned out that way. And I was like, what the heck? I do not like that. So I searched and searched and searched some more. And I found my Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And I'll be honest with you, I can be a bit of a paper snob, and I don't do a lot of watercolor, and I thought, oh, this will be fine, right? It was just some watercolor paper that I had in a drawing pad, and I actually, to be honest, had bought it for my granddaughter because she loves to paint. But I was not happy with it, and then when I used, what did I do with my cards? Do you ever do that? You just have something right in your hand and then it's gone. So then I used the good watercolor paper, and look at the difference. Like between that and this. Like, look at that. It's really not great. Now, having said that, had I turned the paper this way, I wonder if it would have been a little bit better, because obviously the lines in the paper, if you look, you can see the lines are going vertical as opposed to horizontal. But we can do a little test just to see. But honestly, the difference between the cheap stuff and the Fluid 100, night and day. Absolutely night and day. So I'm going to grab a piece of the Fluid 100. And this comes, I believe these are 5x7. And we're going to trim this down to 3¼ by 5½, I think. And I've got the rest of my kit is here. So I have a card base that is, you know, the regular 5½ by 8½, and I've scored it at 4¼ And oh, here's another piece of watercolor paper. I'll just use this because I want to show you how I'm going to cut it. And then I have a piece of the Country Woods Designer Series paper. Now this paper's been out for quite a while. It came out in the annual catalog 24 to 25, but it's still available. And I might actually scoop another package before it's gone, because I love this paper. I just love it. Like all the different wood textures. I've used all of this one twice, 2 packages, and I've used almost all of this one, and this one, and this one. So it's really beautiful paper. So I don't know if it's on the last chance list or not. Maybe if somebody's watching and they can access the last chance list, let me know. But it's Country Woods. This is one of those papers I think that they should just keep forever because I just love it. And I said so, so they should keep it. So anyway, so I have a piece of the blue one that is, this is what's on the back. So this is 1 inch by 5.5. And then I have this brown piece, which is just a piece of the dark brown, which is 1/4 inch by 5.5. And then I also have, I don't know what I did with that. I'll have to cut another one. Grab a piece of basic white. I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5.25 from the inside because I don't like a flimsy card. And I know that it's pretty, I mean, when you buy a card in the store, it's only 2 layers. But you know what? I like a layer. So I'm going to put a layer of the basic white inside the basic white just to give it a little bit more stability because the front's going to be a little bit top heavy. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to cut my watercolor paper to 3.5 by 5.5. Now, because this is 5 by 7, obviously I can't cut it. I can't cut it 5.5 this way, right? Because it's only 5. So I'm going to cut it this way at 5.5 because I want the big piece here so that I can cut out some other elements that we're going to watercolor. So I'm cutting it on the long side at 5.5. And we're going to keep this because we're going to cut out some seashells and stuff. And then I'm going to rotate it and put it at 3 3/4. And then this is going to go on the front of our card, the 3 3/4 by 5.5. And then never throw these pieces out because you can use them for things. So I have just a piece of grid paper here because I'm going to be stamping and I don't want to make a mess. Now, what you're also going to need is I have, where are you? Knight of Navy. Where's my Knight of Navy? I just had it. It's here somewhere. I wonder if I got clever and put it away. I did. Can you imagine? Shame on me for putting things away. Man, the nerve. Okay, so I have Knight of Navy. And I've got my... I worked all day today with geriatric patients, or geriatrics, and I'm a little scattered because I was repeating myself a lot. But I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying working in the salon these weeks. I did a lady's feet today. I did a pedicure on a lady who's going to be 100 on May 30th. And she's as sharp as a tack. It was such a pleasure chatting with her today. And what a sense of humor. Honestly, she was so funny. All right, so I have an aqua painter. They come in packages of 3. And there's 3 different nibs. So this is the medium one. This is the fine one. This one's a little bit finer than this one, I think. I don't know, they look the same to me, but I think there's 3 different sizes. And then you have the big one, which is like a paintbrush. And you can see my grandkids were like really enjoying this one. I might have to order another package, but that's okay. I love it when they come over and craft. So, if I have to buy a new painter, so be it. I'm just loving the time with them. All right, so if you're just arriving and you haven't said hello, please do and tell me where you're from. I would love to hear from you. So I have just plain water in here. And I'm going to grab my stamps. I have them already mounted because I was working on them the other day, like Monday. So I'm going to use this stamp right here. This one here to create my water. So I'm going to ink it up really well. I think I have to re-ink this puppy, but we'll see. Can you guys hear me okay? Everything good? All right, so I'm going to go about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way up. Oops, let me change my camera here so you can see here. Let me move this back a bit. Oops, am I going the wrong way? What's going on here? Oh, thanks, Verna. Sound is good. Okay, I'm just gonna move up a bit. I thought I was more in the scope, but I guess I'm not. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up, and I'm gonna stamp about, oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna raise my table so I can stand up, because I couldn't see. I'm very short. Very, very short. And I'm only 5 feet tall. And when I was sitting down, I couldn't see the top of I couldn't see my card really well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, full strength and Knight of Navy, and I'm going to stamp it about here. And then I'm going to flip it and stamp just above it. Like that. So you have 2 tones of the blue. And I'm going to take my water painter, and I just have a cloth here, and I'm just going to squeeze some water into the brush, and I'm just going to smush this ink around a little bit. Now, what you don't want to do is fill in the white parts, because that's where our sunset is going to reflect. There. So I'm just going to actually what I'm doing is I'm actually just blending the ink so that it doesn't look so stamped. I want it to look more like shadowing. At one point in my life, I actually thought that I was going to move to the East Coast and live down on the East Coast. But it never happened. My dad was from the East Coast, and I went down there on vacation a few times. I took my kids to PEI one summer, and toured through New Brunswick another summer. And thought I would love to live down there, but never happened. So again, I'm not filling in the clear spots here. I'm just blending my ink. There. Okay, so you can see, to me, it looks a little bit too dark at the top. I'm kind of not loving that. I don't know. Because this one turned out so much lighter. I don't know. Not loving it. Oh well. We're going to live with it. I'm thinking now I probably should have stamped off in between to make it much lighter. I'm just going to test it on this piece. I know this piece, is it the same? Yeah. I'm going to test that theory on this piece, and if it works better, then that's the one we're going to use. Oh, here it is. I'm thinking, where did I put that? I just had it. All right, so I'm going to stamp it. Stamp off. And then, oh yeah, so that's what you need to do. Stamp your water, and then stamp off, and then stamp your sky. Now we know. Okay, so let me go ahead and just quickly do this. I'm going to do the top first so I don't have too much ink. So what do you think about this weather? We had high winds, and we were supposed to get severe thunderstorms last night. We didn't get them. But my girlfriend, who lives just a couple of hours from me, she lives on a lake, and they're known for the severe weather that they get. But they had a tornado warning, and we were kind of shuddering a little bit because she just put her boat in the water like yesterday. And so she was really worried that, you just get the darn thing out of the compound and into the water, and some tornado's going to come and blow the thing away. But she was fine. They just had lots of thunder and lightning and a bit of wind. Thank goodness. And then we just had wind, and I'm trying to think if it rained. I don't even think well, might have rained a little bit. We were supposed to get severe weather, but we didn't. We just got really strong winds, but this area is known for strong winds anyway. And in fact, when we put a new roof on our house a couple of years ago, we opted for high velocity, I forget what they call it. Anyway, it's guaranteed against high velocity wind. So that, they wouldn't just sort of take off with the first strong gust of wind. And I like this a lot better. Anyway, it's a lifetime guarantee on this roof, so that's good. There, that's much prettier. I like that. All right, so let's finish this up. I'm gonna let this dry for half a sec. Now, if you want to expedite the drying, which actually I may do, is use my heat tool. But it's not that wet. It's not like when you're water painting and you saturate it first. It's actually not that wet. But what a difference. I'm glad I stamped it off. I'm glad I decided to change, what I was doing. And I'll just keep this piece for cutting out other things. So that's our sky. So next I want to take my Golden Glow, which is one of the new in colors. And there's a smaller sky stamp right here. So we're going to take that, and we're going to take the sun. Now I'm going to grab a little sticky note. And I don't need it yet. Where's my sky? Here we are. All right, so I'm going to take my sky. I'm going to ink it up. So it actually goes this way. There's like a little doodad on the bottom there, and that's what goes down. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this full strength right here. Which I don't like the way it's stamped. I'm going to do it again. And then I'm going to stamp it off and do the upper sky, because I just want a bit of color in there. And now I'm going to put my Post-it note right on the horizon like this. And find my sun, wherever she may be. Good Lord, I just saw it. It's here somewhere. This is the kind of day I've had. I was making dinner, and no matter, oh, here it is. No matter what I picked up, I dropped it. It drove me crazy. All right, so I'm going to ink it up with the Golden Glow. And I'm just going to put my sun on the horizon like this. There. And I'm going to take my water painter, and I'm just going to blend this yellow on the bottom a tiny, tiny bit. Now, not a lot, because if you put blue and yellow together, you're going to get green, right? Which we do not want. I just picked up a bit of yellow from the ink pad itself. There. And I managed to get a bit of blue in there, and I'm going to end up with green, which I don't want, but I think that looks pretty good. There. Okay. Now to clean your watercolor blender, all you do is just squeeze some water and then just keep wiping it until it comes clear. Sometimes your little bristles will change color, and that's okay. It's like our stamps. It's not going to affect the way it works. But, you know, you want to make sure that it's nice and clean. Okay, so next, let me see. I'm going to grab my other watercolor paper that we cut off the edge, and I'm going to take my little seashells, and I also have a piece of basic beige that I'm going to cut out this net like this and like this. So let me grab my cut and emboss machine. I can actually probably use the mini for that. I've been trying to reorganize, I guess, my craft room, because you know how when things work for you for a little while and then suddenly they don't? I'm at that point. All right, so I've got my watercolor paper here, and I'm actually just going to cut just a little piece because I just need the 3 little seashells, and then I'm going to pop my net just right here and cut that out. Now, oh, you know what? I found out the other day that we have new scissors coming. So I'm really excited about that. We don't have an actual date, but they are on their way because Stampin' Up lost their supplier, lost their supply of the trimmers, the little nipper, or what do you call it? The little snips. And so now they have a new supplier, and they're on their way, and they should be here shortly. All right, so here's our net, and here's our seashells. So put this over here. All right, so my little net, I'm going to bounce this onto here to see if it'll pop out. And it did. It did not. Oh, there we go. So if you ever have trouble getting something out of your die, just throw it. Come on, out you go. Now, if I was smart, I'd get out my brush and the little foam pad and do it that way, but never claimed to be smart. Okay. You gotta love the confetti. So I've really, with working so much between the quilting, I don't know why all of a sudden I'm slammed with quilts. I'm not complaining by any means. I enjoy it, and you know, it's helps me pay for my stamping bad habits. So I'm not complaining at all. But all of a sudden I'm slammed, and I don't know why. Is it like wedding season or baby season? It's some kind of season because I'm having quilts galore. Okay, so there's our net. Next, I've got my little seashells. So this little die cuts out all 3 seashells at the same time. And I've got my take your pick tool. Like that. And I have my three little seashells. So I'm gonna grab my water blender again and my Golden Glow, The only thing about these magnetic cases is look at this. It picks things up. Okay, so what I've done is I squeezed my ink pad and have ink on the lid, which is great because now I have a little palette. So I'm going to add some water. And now I kind of have like a little paintbrush. Okay, so I'm just going to go into my seashells and I'm just going to add some watercolor like that. You can see you don't need a lot, right? Just a little bit. Just to give it a little bit of life. And what else do I need? I need to stamp one more thing. So I'm going to use actually Secret Sea. Secret Sea has become my new black. I love Secret Sea. I think that they should put this into the regular color line as one of the basics. I love it. So I have a scrap of basic white here. And I have the sentiment, wherever this note finds you. And I'm going to stamp that in the Secret Sea. And I'm just going to stamp straight down, straight up. There we go. And I don't know, with Secret Sea, I get a perfect stamp every single time. I absolutely love this color. All right, so let me just clean my stamps that I've used so far because sure as heck I'm going to get ink on something, which we don't want that, do we? Indeed, we do not. There we go. Now this little chamois came with my glass mat. So if you're interested in the glass mat, which I don't know why I don't have it on my desk. I guess I was cleaning and I took it off and I never put it back on. But it comes with the glass mat and also this silicone mat that I should be using, which I'm absolutely not using. And I like to use it for my ink pads so that they don't move when I'm trying to do blending. So this is a great little mat too. And I think I'm so discombobulated from not being home all day and then rushing home. And normally my husband makes dinner, but tonight I made dinner. And then I was like, okay, I gotta eat fast because I have to get back downstairs. Now, I don't know if you're team fussy cut or not team fussy cut. I'm kind of ambivalent. I'll do it if I have to. Is it my favorite thing to do? No. But I don't mind it. And it often gives me the look that I want. Now, here's a tip for you. If fussy cutting gives you the heebie-jeebies, what you can do is take your stamp, and the stamp has a bit of an outline. So I'm not going to do it on this one because I've already started cutting it. But say I had it stamped on here. I can now take a pencil. Where's my pencil? And then just draw around. Like this. And, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously. And you can smooth it out as you're cutting it. But if you're one of these that are a little bit nervous about, you know, fussy cutting, then you have your outline and you can go ahead and cut it out. And that'll give you like the perfect outline for your lettering. So that's a hint if you're a little bit nervous about fussy cutting and you want to keep it even, that's a really great way to do it. So let me finish cutting this out. My fussy cutting is not perfection, but you know what? This is a handmade handcrafted card. And absolutely, I wish that they had dies to cut out the sentiments, but they don't. So we're going to make whatever it is work and be happy with it. There. Not bad, huh? Looks great to me. So, all right, let's put our card together. So I have my card base is here. And I have my sunset is here. And I'm going to, this is bigger than 3 1/4, so I'm going to trim this down a little bit. How big am I here? My gosh, 3 3/4. So I need to take 1/2 inch off. So I'm going to take 1/4 inch off each side. Let me go this way so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take 1/4 inch off each side and see if that's going to work. I think it will. 3 1/4. Yeah, good enough. Okay. And make sure it's 5 1/2, which it is. Okay. So this is going to go onto our card base like this. Like that. Let me grab my glue. So if you're just popping in, please say hi. And let me know if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube. All right, so I'm just lining it up with the edge of my card, like that. And then I've got my 1 inch by 5 1/2 of my blue, oh, thanks, Verna, of my blue wood grain from, what's it called again? Country Woods. So I'm going to glue that onto there. Like this. Just going to refresh the chat and see. Well, that didn't work. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. Here we go. No, didn't work. Okay. I tried to refresh the chat, but technology and me are not friends. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, so now I have my piece of the dark brown, and I'm just going to glue that right along this side here. Probably should use my tweezers, but that's all right. There we go. Come to me. Okay. I'm just going to pop that right on there. And I'm just lining, the watercolor paper is a little bit thicker than the DSP. If you're not familiar with DSP, it just means designer series paper, which is the fancy stuff. And so when you pop the brown one, it just snugs up against the watercolor paper and it looks great. All right, so I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. I've got my net and I have my, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I need to cut out the waves from my little sailboat. And what that's going to do is going to give me some grass, but I want to do it on watercolor paper. So here's my little scrap of watercolor paper. Let me grab my trimmer again. So this is just gonna, I'm just gonna cut the bottom part of the sailboat out because all I want are these little lines here. So I'm just gonna put it like this, like that, and run it through comme ça. And then I can pop these pieces out. And I'm going to watercolor these with, am I going to use Mossy Meadow or am I going to use the new pine? I really like Peaceful Pine, our new green. Isn't that a beautiful, rich green? I love this. So let me grab my scratch paper again. I'm just going to pop these down here, and I've got my Peaceful Pine. I'm still getting used to the name of it. And I'm just going to, oh, you know what? I forgot to clean it. Ugh. So now I have brown in there. Just clean that up because I had the yellow. There. All right, so now I'm going to pick up the green. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. And then I'm just going to go over my watercolor paper with the green ink. Now, if you don't like squishing your ink pads, that's okay. You can just take a block, like a stamping block, like a little block, and then just make a little palette like this. Now you can see there's green ink on there. Just add a little bit of water and voila, you have like a little ink palette. I don't have any problems squishing it and getting the inside dirty because who cares? Nobody's going to see it, right? I just need a bit more water here. Okay, add a little bit more here. There. So I'm going to clean this because I sure don't want to get this on anything. And trust me, I will. So we'll close that, get this out of the way. I'm just going to clean my brush so I don't forget again. And this cloth is just a baby face cloth that I got on Amazon, and I just throw them in the laundry. When I do the darks, I just pop them right in the laundry. Okay, so let's start putting this puppy together. So I'm going to get rid of this so that you can see. Now, I've got my, where is it? Here we are. I'm just going to put down a little bit of seal. This is the Seal Plus. I'm just going to put a little piece right here. And then I'm going to pop my net right on there. Now, if you wanted to take, say, crumb cake on a blending brush, you could definitely give it a little bit more color. I'm not going to. I didn't on my other card, and I like it just fine. So I'm just sticking that right on there. And I have, I had a package of mini dimensionals. And I'm going to take your, oh, what happened to my camera? What the heck? Ah. I'm telling you. If I was a drinking man. Oh my gosh. Okay. There we are. I don't know what happened there. I think I must have bumped my mouse or something. Sheesh. Okay. So I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool. I may have lost my train of thought. I apologize. Come on. In you go. And I'm just going to take some dimensionals and I'm going to pop up. Which ones did I pop up here? I popped up the starfish and the shell clam. So let's pop a dimensional on the back of there and a little dimensional on the back of the starfish. I'm still in the screen, yeah. There, like that. And okay, so let's get to her. So I've got my grass. And I'm just going to give that a little snip. Actually, I'm going to put my seashells down first, I think. And this little seashell, I'm going to put just a bit of glue on the fat part of the thing here. Ooh, that's a lot of glue. Okay. So I'm just going to pop that right there. And then I've got my grass. Just to put a bit of glue there. I'm just going to pop it underneath the net. Oops. So cute. Then I'm going to put this on dimensionals as well, but because it's a little bit bigger, I'm just going to use the outside of my dimensional. I'm just going to snip it and just use that like this. And like this. There we go. And then that's just going to go right here. And actually, I'm going to move my starfish. I'm not loving this. I'm just going to move it up a bit. There. I like that better. And I had some twine. So I've got my linen thread. Whenever I get linen thread in a paper pumpkin, I just pop it in here. So I have a ton of it. So I'm going to take a piece big enough to do a double bow. And you can see it's all squirrely from being on a tube. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to run it over the bone folder and de-squirrelize it like that. And now I'm just going to take, I probably have too much here, but that's all right. So I'm going to fold it in half and then I'm going to make a double bow out of it. So just a regular bow. Oh, actually I don't have too much. Look at that. Actually, I could have used a little bit more, to be really honest, but that's fine. All right, so I've got my two tails, and one tail's a loop because I had it doubled, and I'm not going to trim my tails. I'm going to leave them a little bit longer like this. And I just need a glue dot. So I grab a glue dot. I don't know if it's the humidity. My glue dot is stretchy today. And I'm going to pop it right by the words here. And then put my bow right on top of that like this. Isn't that cute? So I need to fix my screen here for a sec. Okay. Does it look okay? Is my screen okay? It seems weird to me. No, I guess it's okay. All right. So that's the outside of the card. Now I do have the gems that came with this suite. And actually none of these are calling my name, to be really frank. But what I did have, did I bring them with me? I did. So I have a package of the Dewdrop embellishments, and these dark blue ones at the bottom here are calling my name as opposed to any of these. Now these go with all the sunset paper, which, trust me, it's beautiful, but it's not, I guess I wasn't using the paper, so I put it away, but The this goes with all the sunset papers, and but it's not calling me my name. So I'm going to use some of the dewdrop embellishments, and honestly, I don't remember what suite this is from, but I like them, so I'm using them. All right, so I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool. And honestly, I don't even know, like if it was a masculine card, does it really need the embellishments? Maybe, I don't know. I'll just put little ones. I'll put the smaller ones. I got a cat hair there. I'm not going to make them the center point of the card for sure. There. That looks okay. I like that. So now for the inside. Let's go ahead and do the inside. So again, I have a piece it's not 4 by 5 1/4 yet. I'm going to give it a trim. What a mess. Holy Dinah. Okay. Let me grab my trimmer here. And all of my papers are 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 because when I get low on card pieces, I pre-cut a whole package to 5 1/4. Yeah, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, so that I have them ready. But I want this to be 4 1/4 by 5. I had to rethink it there for a sec. So 4 1/4 by 5. Is that right? No, 4 by 5 1/4. Got my head on upside down. 4 by 5 1/4. And let me grab my grid paper again. And I'm going to take my Night of Navy again. And I'm using the stamp, I hope it finds you happy, because the front says, wherever this note finds you, right? So I'm going to go ahead and stamp, I hope it finds you happy, in the lower left corner. Like that. Now, I would prefer to have that darker. So on a perfect day, I would use my stamping positioner tool and stamp it more than once, because I like my stamps dark and crisp. So actually I'm going to, just to show you how easy it is, and it's not stressful. I use my stamping positioner for almost everything that I stamp because I prefer a well-stamped card. So now I have a little sticky mat here. It sticks to the paper a little bit. It's not super sticky anymore, but and I just got this at my local craft shop here. Oh, look at, I have ink all over my hands. Jeez, Lisa. Let me clean my hands. Okay. I'm going to flip it over. Oh, I'm going to make another one. I have ink all over me. Good grief. Can't take me anywhere. So I'm going to give this a quick trim to 4 by 5 1/4. Use my fingers for ink blending. Good grief. All right. 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to take the stamp that I just had, but I need to clean it because I don't want it to smear. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to place it where I need it to be, which is down in this corner. I've got a cat hair on my sticky mat. There. Now these photopolymer stamps will stick to you. You can use an eraser on the end of a pencil to move it around if you have to. All right, so now I'm going to take my plate for my positioning tool, and you always want to have the logos on the right, like face up, and at the bottom of the plate, and then this just sits on here, and I'm just going to pick up my stamp. And then this moved. All right, let's try that again. Stay put. So this may be okay. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it where it is because I wasn't sure that I put the paper back where I thought I had put it. So I've got my Night of Navy. Do I want Night of Navy? Yes, I do. All right, so I'm gonna stamp it in Night of Navy. I'm just gonna press down lightly. You don't want to smush it down. You just want to press it really lightly. And I'm gonna stamp it again. So I almost always stamp my sentiment stamps twice because I like them dark. And if, you know, I'm not happy with it if it's sort of halfway. There we are. And it shifted. Honestly, if anything goes right tonight, I'm going to be a happy girl. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. I don't know why it shifted. The whole idea is that it doesn't shift. All right, let me try this again. Let's ink it up. Okay. And ink it up again. Perfect. Okay. I'm happy now. Happy dance, happy dance. So I am happy. All right, so I still need my Night of Navy. So I'm going to take this off of here. Look at my hands. Jeez, no wonder I'm making fingerprints on everything. Come on, off you go. I'm going to grab a baby wipe before I destroy my card any further. Ink, ink, ink. Okay. You'd think I was a novice, wouldn't you? Okay, so wipe my hands on my pants. Okay, so I'm going to take the smaller of the seascape. Well, not seascape, I don't know what you call it. Like the reflection. And I'm going to stamp it off. Do I want to stamp it off twice? No, I'm just going to stamp it off once, I think. So I'm going to stamp it off and then stamp it here. And then I'm going to take Secret Sea and I'm going to stamp the little sailboat. There's two little sailboats. So I thought this one had a little bit more detail than the other one. Like the little skinny one wasn't doing it for me, so I'm using the bigger one of the two. But I guess you could do two of them because one would be further away, right? And I'm just going to pop that guy right there. Like that. So that's the inside of the card. Whenever I use dark colored ink, I get it all over me. It's a gift, I guess. I don't know. So here is my card. And I'm just going to glue this into the middle of this card. Like this. And there we are. So there's the front. And there's the inside. Isn't that cute? Now my trimmer, I need a new blade. If your trimmer makes a little ridge like this, just use your bone folder and push it down. Good as new. Okay, so there's card number 1. I hope you like that card. I love it. It's the more I play with this suite, honestly, the more I love it. So next we're going to do this one. Oh, thanks, Verna. So we're going to do this one now. Now this one is really easy. Well, they're both easy, but so I'm going to go ahead and do this one now. So I need a pecan pie card base. Let me just clean up a bit here. So I have a pecan pie card base. I feel like that's really hard to say for some reason. There, that's a little bit better. And then I have a piece of the brown what's it called again? Country Woods. Good grief. It's one of my favorite papers. I don't even know the name of it. So a piece of the brown country wood. That is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to sit on here. And then I have a piece of the blue country woods, which, let me just check my notes, make sure I get the dimensions right. So the blue is 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So this one is 4 by 5 1/4, and this one is 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So now this is a technique that I've never sunk my teeth into. I've never loved it. However, we're going to do it. So let me grab my snips, and we're going to distress the edges of the paper. So just like, you know, like you see a lot of creators tear the designer paper. Honestly, I have trouble wrapping my head around that. I can't. It's not my thing. I don't know. I like things a little bit more. I don't know. I was gonna say cut and dry, but you know what I mean. Like I like things a little bit more, less distressed, I guess. But in all honesty, once I made this, when I was making this card on Monday, I thought, I'm not going to like this, but I actually do. So I may be getting my head out of the sand a little bit and sort of thinking that, you know, it's not a bad technique to get used to. So what I want to do now is my top left and bottom right corners. I just want to distress a little bit. So I'm going to just kind of squish them. Kind of like this, like curl them. I want to curl them, but obviously I don't want to wet them because, you know, you don't want to have wet paper on your card. There. So there's my 2 little corners. If I'm going to distress this, I might as well go for it, right? Whoops. It's like a lost map. It's distressed, all right. Holy smokes. Go big or go home. Now that's distressed. Okay. And I have sawdust everywhere. Okay, so that's going to go on here. And so now we're going to do the same thing with the blue one. We're going to distress it. Like this. So don't forget, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I would love to have you subscribe. And my New Year's resolution, even though it's May, is to try and be a little bit more present, which I'm finding it a little difficult working the other 2 jobs at the moment. I'm supposed to be retired. You wouldn't know it. But that's okay. You know what? It keeps me active, and I think it keeps me young. And kind of excited this weekend. I'm going to go and visit my grandkids. Well, my kids too, but let's face it, the grandkids are always the heart of the visit. And it was my grandson's birthday a couple of weeks ago, and he just turned 5. So my gift to him is to take him on a shopping spree. He loves books, so we're going to go to Indigo, and then I'm going to take him wherever he wants to go for lunch. So we're going to do that on Saturday. So I'm excited. And then I have a feeling my granddaughter will be a little bent out of shape, but she'll get over it. She gets to have mummy days and go to the spa and get her nails done and stuff like that. So I think, you know, she'll just have to accept it. Okay, so here's the 2 pieces for the front of our card. So let's go ahead and glue that down. So I'm just gonna get rid of the sawdust and pop this right down in the middle. Like that. And then this blue one's just going to sit right on top of it. Like this. There, I like it already. Okay, so now to make the front of the card, I have a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to take my Night of Navy, and again, I'm going to take my my reflection, well, you know, my water. I'm going to take my water. And I'm just going to stamp that kind of right in the middle. Like that. And then I'm going to take a Post-it note. So I'm going to grab my Post-it note that I had earlier. Actually, I'm going to grab 2, I think. There we go. And I have a blending brush. I had a blending brush. Here it is. And my Golden Glow. I'm going to close this before I stick my finger in it. So let me grab the Golden Glow here. I'm just going to get the majority of the ink off. So let me go up where you can actually see what the heck I'm doing here. Hold on. I swear my camera is moving. I don't, is it me or is it the camera? Okay. All right, so I don't want a lot of color. I just want a little bit of color. So I'm just going to come up and make a bit of a sunset here. Oh, you know what? I picked up some of the blue. Not smart. Okay, let's go here. I'm going to flip this over. I picked up some of the blue when I was taking the excess off. Okay. All right, so let me come back in here with a little bit of the gold. And I'm just going to grab the little bit of Timid Tiger. So let me just grab a little bit of Timid Tiger here, just a very little bit. And I just want to go like just along the edge of the horizon here, just to make it sort of more glowy. Let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. my paper's up maybe just a touch too high. No, I guess we're okay. So, but I need to put my sun on, so I'm going to put this back. There. Now my sun is here. And I'm going to grab the Golden Glow again. I'll figure out where I am here. There. So there's my sun. And then I'm going to take, let me clean this first because it still has blue on it. And I'm just going to take a bit of the Golden Glow. I'm going to stamp it off. And then stamp, oops, can't see what I'm doing. Stamp in here like that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Now, I did go over the edge a little bit with when I was blending. However, I'm not actually all that concerned about it, but I do have a nail buffer. This, if you don't have one of these, honestly, get one. Now I'm a nail technician, so I have tons of them, but I believe you can just get these at the dollar store. It's just like a buffing block for nails, and I'm just gonna soften the edges. See that? It softened it right up. And do the other side because I have that line there and I don't love it. There. So it just softened the line a little bit. So yeah, probably $2 at the dollar store. I always laugh. They say it used to be the dollar store. Now it's the $2 to $5 store. Okay. So there is our sunset. And I'm going to put, where is my stamp? I wonder if I took it off. Let's do happy anniversary. Now, again, you can use the stamping positioner if you'd like, or you can just use a block. I'm just going to use a block this time. Now, somebody was kind of not making fun of me, but I load my blocks on a diagonal like this when I'm doing wording, and I'll tell you why. I get spatially bamboozled. If I was to load it across like this, say I just put it on like this. Most people just do that. I find, and it's just the way my brain works, that I'm competing with the edge of the block and not looking at the sentiment in relation to the bottom of the card. And honestly, I will never, ever, if I load it like this, I will never get a straight sentiment. So what I do is I put it on an angle, and then I can concentrate on the sentiment as opposed to the edge of the block, and it doesn't affect my brain. It's just the way my little pea brain works, but yeah, you know, if you have trouble getting straight, try that. Might work for you. Maybe not, but it worked for me, so. Okay, so I'm going to stamp happy anniversary. That looks like it's crooked. It is. You can see how it's curved here. So I'm going to take it off and I'm going to reload it. So the trick with photopolymer stamps is to let them relax. So let it sit and relax and then pick it up. There, that looks better. I just stuck my finger in the ink again. That's great. Okay, so now if I stamp it, it's nice and straight. Okay, So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right across the bottom of this card like this. Happy anniversary. All right. So I'm going to put this aside for a half a sec. And now we're going to create our sailboat element. So what I need to do that, again, is my sailboat. So I have my sailboat die. And I have a scrap piece of pecan pie, and I also have a scrap piece of basic beige. So I'm just going to cut this basic beige. Okay, so I've got my 2 plates on my mini here. And so all I need is the boat itself. So I'm not too fussed about what else is going on in there. All I want is the boat. So I'm just going to line up my boat. I just have a little piece of paper in there. There. So I'm just going to line up the boat part because that's the only part in the basic beige, all I want is the sail anyway. So let me line that up. And I'm just going to run it through. Okay, and then in the pecan pie, I'm going to do the same thing. So for the pecan pie, I'm just going to grab the whole boat like this. But you want to make sure you get the entire boat. So cute. All right, so I have my little boat. Come on. All right, so I have my boat here, and punch out what I don't want here. Okay, so I'm just going to give a little snip, like right here, like this. And so there's my boat. Okay. But all I want in the basic beige one is the sail. So you can see here there's a cut line at the bottom of the sail. So that's where I'm going to cut, just right across that line right there. So just a little snip. And then punch out these pieces so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to cut the bottom of the sail. Oops, let me do it this way. Like, I'm going to keep that little part of the sail there. I'm just going to snip that off. And just give it a little snip right here. Just clean that up a little. There, so here's our sail, and here's our sailboat. So I'm just going to glue this right onto here to make my little sailboat. A little piece here that I can pop out. There. Okay, so now we're going to attach that to our card with dimensionals. We're going to glue my boat together first. There we go. So let's pop this onto the pecan pie piece. So there's our little boat. Isn't that cute? Look at how much blue I have on my hands. Good grief. All right, so I'm just going to grab some mini dimensionals. And I'm going to pop them on the back of the boat here. I think I can fit one along here. I may or may not be able to get a third one on there, I don't think. Oh, maybe. No, I can see it on the bottom, so I'm just going to snip off the bottom part of this one. I'll cut this one in half. Come on. There we go. Okay. So we can pop this up on the card. And that's just going to sit right here. I love it. Okay, so now this is going to go up on dimensionals. So let me see if I have any big ones over here. Yeah, I have the larger dimensionals here. That way I won't have to use 20 little ones instead of a few big ones. I'm going to put some in the middle. I hate a saggy. There. Okay. I guess I could have used my take your pick tool to take the top off of these guys, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, so this is just going to nestle like right in here. Centered. Like this. And I did have a piece of, I have a piece of scrap Secret Sea, and I forgot to cut out my birds when I was doing the other cutting out. So we'll just cut out these little birds, and this die cuts 3 birds out at the same time. So let me just go ahead and cut these guys out like this. There we go. All right. So here's our card and here's our birds. 3 little birds. So I'm going to grab this guy. Grab my tweezers here. Maybe. Oh, here they are. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. Tiny, tiny bit. And I'm just going to have him floating around. There. Isn't that pretty? So next, now when I made this card on Monday, my order hadn't come yet, and I was using, this was called the Loose Anchor Trinkets from, oh my gosh, what was it? A boat set that we had a few years ago, and I didn't use them all. So this is what I was using. They're childproof. There, here we go. So this one had like, oh, wait a sec. No, sorry. The Sail Away trinkets is what I used. Sail Away. And this had like a little steering wheel, which is what I used on this card. And a little anchor. So this was from the Sail Away suite that we had a few years ago. And these are the ones, these came yesterday while I was, so these are the new anchors. What are they called again? Loose Anchor Trinkets, which is in the new Scenic Coast suite. So we'll use those. So let me grab another piece of linen thread. Here we are. And I'm just gonna string it through the hole here. And how did I tie that? I think I tied a bow. I did. I just tied a bow. So I'm just gonna tie a knot. Have you guys started getting mosquitoes yet? I sat outside. When I got home from work today, I sat outside with my husband for a few minutes out on the front porch. I lasted about 5 minutes. Those mosquitoes just beeline for any open skin that they could find. And I don't do well with mosquito bite histamines. I will scratch for weeks. And my husband's sitting there and he's just calmly doing whatever he was doing. Meanwhile, I'm swatting away like a lunatic. And he says, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "The bugs are driving me crazy." He didn't even see them. Meanwhile, I'm getting chewed to smithereens. So I lasted, like I said, about 5 minutes. I don't do well with bug bites at all. Often in the summertime in the evening, he'll pour a scotch or a liqueur or something and go sit outside and build a fire and sit out there for hours by himself, listening to an audiobook or something. And sometimes I'll go out and join him. And again, 5 minutes, I'm in the house because I can't handle the bugs. Actually, I'm going to put a couple of, I wonder if I can get a mini glue dot on the anchor itself. Let me try. Actually, if I stick it here, you won't see it. So let me put it on I just put it on the crossbar of the, like right there. Okay, so I have a glue dot here on the card and I have a glue dot on the anchor. So I'm just gonna pop this like this, give this a trim. I gotta clean my scissors, they're all sticky. So that's the front of our card. Now for the inside, I have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white. And I'm actually going to do the same thing I did on this one. Why not? I like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and just duplicate this. Now this one says happy anniversary. So I'm not going to put a sentiment on the inside, but I'm just going to put the boat because I like it. And I don't like the inside of a card being buck naked. So I've got my little stamp here and I have my Night of Navy. Oh, you know what? I could use Misty Moonlight too because it's a little bit lighter. I'm kind of wondering if I used Misty Moonlight ink on the other cards. But when you stamp it off, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just ignore me. All right, so I'm going to, where's my paper? So here's my paper, and remember this one is horizontal. This is like a top fold card. So I'm going to ink up my the smaller of the reflection. I'm going to stamp it off twice. No, I think I only stamped it off once last time. And I'm just going to pop that here like that. And then I'm going to take Secret C. I'll close this before I stick my finger in it. So I've got Secret C and my little boat. So I've got my little sailboat. And I'm just going to pop it right there. So cute. All right. There. Super cute. Now, if you had a nice sentiment that you really like for an anniversary or a personal greeting or something, by all means, go ahead and pop that in there. And then, so I'm just going to glue this right into the center of my card here. There we go. There. Oh, I love it. So what do you think? And I don't think it needs any bling. Like I could put the bling like I did on this one, but honestly, I don't know. Oh, you know what I did on the other one and I really, really liked it? Is I took the Wink of Stella. Like if you look, you can just see the shimmer. Oh, there we go. Of the Wink of Stella on the water. And I only did it on the water and I didn't try to blend it or anything. I just tried to get it like on the water part. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit because this stuff will come out like gangbusters here. So I'm just gonna go a little bit on the water to get that reflective glimmer. I'm trying, did I go over the yellow part too or no? Yeah, I did. Okay. I probably should have done this before I put the boat on it, but whatever. It's fine. So if you're going to do the whole thing, do the blue first or the yellow first, and then like do the second color. Because if I was just to go right over it, blue and yellow make green. So I'd end up with a green reflection, which obviously we don't want that. So I'm just going to squeak my pen in there. I should have done it before I put the boat on it, but all right, so I'm going to make sure I don't have any blue on my brush. And I'm just going to go into the yellow here a little bit. There. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay. All right. So those are our 2 cards for today. And I'll try not to be such a stranger. I'm just finding, not getting any younger. I find that sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed with, working. I'm so swamped with quilts and then working at the salon as well for my friend. Well, she recovers. And then I have great intentions. I come down here and I get everything ready. And then by the time I'm ready to do the video, I'm pooped. I have to go back upstairs. So, but I will try to be a little bit more present and be a little bit more conscious of my blogging, which honestly, I don't like blogging. It's a struggle for me. So, but this is part of my new strategy is to get more on that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not making any promises, but all right. So once again, if you are not subscribed already, please do. I would love to have you as a subscriber. And if you are a subscriber, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And I hope you try these. Now I've listed everything that I've used in the description of the video on YouTube. And yeah, if there's anything that sort of catches your fancy, let me know. And again, keep an eye out for if you've had any thought about becoming a demonstrator, don't forget that you can get the 5 new in color ink stamps for free if you join my team between now and the end of May. So, and if you have any questions about that, feel free to give me an email at critters'ninc@gmail.com. And the link, I'll put the link for my email below as well. So I'm gonna let you go. It's getting kind of late. It's past my bedtime. No, I'm just kidding, but not too long from now. Thanks. Have a great evening. Enjoy the sunny weather. It's finally here, I think. So